Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are back with Ruboss, the GOAT, Mr. Ruboss himself, and we're checking out Erika, Innocent or Propaganda. Erika, the viral, super famous, world-renowned German song about, I don't even know, someone named Erika, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, super famous, super stereotypical song from Germany. Is it propaganda? Is it an innocent song? I actually have no idea because I don't know what the lyrics actually mean, but I guess we're going to find out together today. So, enough yapping, los geht's.
Ah, yes. What a beautiful song. One that stirs the hearts of all patriotic Germans and inspires them with pride and courage. The ultimate expression of Germanhood. Except that most Germans these days don't know it that well, and most of those who do really don't think that it reflects German values at all. But if you upload a
So it's kind of like more of a internet meme thing?
40-second short on the subject that gets seen by 500,000 people, you very quickly learn that there is a lot of misinformation surrounding this one song, and a surprisingly large number of people who are prepared to say in public that they think Hitler was right. There's not much I can do about that, but let me just take this opportunity to explain a few things about the song, and in particular to set a few things straight. And I'm going to start with when it was written, because that is the source of a lot of inexplicably angry comments. The song was written in 1938, and that, I'm afraid, is a verified historical fact. A lot of people have told me that it was written.
So a little bit of a questionable time period, 1938. You know, we can't jump to conclusions, but you know, difficult time period. Let's continue.
Years before then, and 1938 is the date of publication, but that is not true, even if a lot of websites claim it to be so. And I know it's not true because I have the writer's word on the matter. His name was Ferdinand Friedrich Hermann Nielebock, although he was much better known under his pen name Herms Niel. He gave an interview for the Viennese newspaper Das Kleine Volksblatt, which was printed in the issue dated May the 12th, 1940. At the time, Austria had been annexed by Germany and formed part of the Greater German Reich, and that is the English pronunciation. Please don't at me. The press was at that time fully under the control of the Nazis, and so was naturally full of praise for everything the Germans were doing, and full of criticism for everything everyone else was doing. Of course, there was, at the time, a war going on, but still, referring to Churchill in a news article, not an opinion piece, a news article, as the supreme warmonger, as if that were an official title, is taking things a step too far, even in wartime.
Damn, they were coming after Churchill.
But in the middle of the paper is a 2-page interview with Herms Niel, conducted at his home near Potsdam, in which he talks, among other things, about his inspiration for the song Erika. The way he tells it, inspiration came to him in the summer of 1938 while he was out walking his dog, a German spaniel named Dina. On this particular day, she disturbed a wasp's nest, prompting Niel to help her win her battle, although he doesn't explain exactly how. Anyway, having triumphed over the wasps, he found himself looking at what he took to be some heather growing nearby, scientific name Erica tetralix. And that is how he says he came up with the idea of a song about a soldier looking at the heather and being reminded of his girlfriend. He then says that one of his neighbors later told him that what he'd seen wasn't actually heather at all, but thyme. But it was too late. The song had been written.
The time had passed.
Now, of course, it is possible that Niel made up the whole story just so that he could claim credit for something that wasn't actually his work. But there is no actual evidence that the song was sung or known before 1938, and so that seems to be very unlikely. So it was written during the Nazi period, but was it actual Nazi propaganda?
This is the question that I would like to know. Let's see.
Well, the article does have a photo of Hans Niel in full Nazi uniform.
Okay, well, I guess we're done here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Oh, there's more? Oh, hold on. There's more. Sorry.
As he was, at the time, band leader of the marching band of the Reich Labour Front. But we do have to be fair and point out that anybody who wanted any kind of career in those days had to submit to the will of the party. Nevertheless, he was the party.
Go woke, go broke, as they say nowadays.
Party's most prolific writer of military songs. There is no explicitly political message within the song. It's written in 2/4 time, which makes it a great song for marching, and that is in fact exactly what it was intended for. A young man, we assume a soldier, sees heather growing in the fields, and this reminds him of his sweetheart back home, who just happens to be called Erika. As well as the simple marching rhythm, the melody had a few breaks in it, 3 beats at a time. In most recordings, these beats are played on the drums. But when marching, soldiers could stamp their feet. This was a favourite technique of Niel and was intended to evoke the sound of distant gunfire. The fact that it's a marching song doesn't make it bad, but it does make it unsuitable as a national anthem. It says nothing about what values the nation holds or what actually binds it together. And for a pacifist, post-Nazi state, a marching song is definitely inappropriate. And to be fair, the lyrics are way more innocent than those of some other national anthems, such as the very bloodthirsty Marseillaise, the national anthem of France, or to give it its original title, the war song of the Army of the Rhine. The tune it's most often sung to, by the way, is in 4/4 time. You could march to it, but it's not actually written as a march. I'd also like to mention the British national anthem, but only to debunk a point that came up in the comments several times. The official version does not include a verse about killing Scotsmen. That was an unofficial verse sung by English soldiers during the Jacobite Revolution and praising Field Marshal George Wade. That is, until Wade was defeated by the Scots and was subsequently fired. The English stopped singing that extra verse very quickly after that. And by the way, the melody that it's most often sung to these days is written in 3/4 time, which means that
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about these time things because I am not a musician. So I don't know how 3/4 time, 4/4 time or anything. I don't know how any of that plays into any of this. I'm too stupid for
only
this.
people who could use it as a march would be those with 3 legs. No, what's problematic about Erika is not the words, but the way it was used in Nazi propaganda. It was one of a very large number of marching songs written by Hans Niel for the regime, and was not only sung by soldiers, but frequently played on domestic radio. The idea was to romanticize and glorify the concept of war. A lot of Niel's songs featured.
So it's kind of like the Hollywood military-industrial complex in America, cranking out military movie after military movie where America or an American soldier is the hero and saves the day and is forever immortalized no matter what their sacrifice is.
Women's names prominently. And in fact, he got letters from lots of women begging him to write a song in their name. Promote the idea that the most romantic thing a man can do is to go off and kill other men, and you'll have no shortage of young men willing to do exactly that. This might seem to be reading between the lines a bit too much, but let's not forget who we're talking about here. Hans Niel, whose next big project, and he talks about this in the interview as well, was to write a new musical arrangement for a song about bombing England. At the time the interview was published, the Battle of Britain was mere weeks away. There was, in fact, no major problem with Erika being sung after the war by various mainstream entertainers as a kind of a folk song. And in fact, it was even included in the official songbook of the German armed forces. But its history and its militaristic musical setting means that most Germans feel, at best, uneasy about it. It just doesn't align with modern-day German values. It has, though, now become quite popular among neo-Nazis and other far-right groups, which only goes to reinforce the general perception of it as a Nazi song. Pretty much the only Germans now prepared to sing it in public are those with some very trenchant views on national identity. It's also become quite well known outside of Germany and is often presented as a typical piece of German culture. And it is very possible that there are a lot of people who simply like the song and don't know what it's generally associated with.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of a banger. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of just, it's super catchy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a freaking banger.
But judging by the comments that I've been getting, a lot of Americans who say they like the song also seem to think that the Nazis were misunderstood. So there it is. Erika is not a hateful song, but it was written for a hateful regime and used in their propaganda. As a marching song, it's great, but it really wouldn't be appropriate as a national anthem.
Wow, dude, that was an awesome video. Very educational and informative. But I am curious what you guys, the experts, think, because you guys are the Germans after all. So what do you think of the Erika song? Do you not like it? Do you like it? Do you see a political message within it because of its history? Or do you think that it's just a fun song? Or I don't know. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. So let me know your thoughts. Leave your mustard down in the comments section below. When you're done there, leave a like, consider subscribing, all that good stuff for the algorithm. It helps out a lot. But that being said, that's all the time that I have for today. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.